All right, let's dive in. Today, we are cracking open an absolute game changer for anyone who needs to get an idea across, which, let's be honest, is all of us. We're breaking down the brilliant bestseller Made to Stick by brothers Chip and Dan Heath.
So, the Heaths started with a simple observation that probably drives you crazy too. Some ideas, even the really bad, totally false ones, just seem to spread like wildfire. Meanwhile, our important, well-researched, brilliant ideas often just die on the vine. They wanted to know why.
And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, think about it. Why can you perfectly remember some ridiculous urban legend you heard one time years ago, but you can't recall the main points from that super important presentation you sat through this morning? What is going on there?
This slide just nails the problem perfectly. On the left, you've got the infamous kidney heist legend. You hear that story once and it's burned into your brain forever. On the right, you've got this corporate jargon, comprehensive community building lends itself to blah, blah, blah. You've forgotten it before you've even finished reading the sentence. That right there is the stickiness problem.
So here's our game plan. We're going to really dig into that stickiness problem. Then we'll unveil the solution, this amazing framework called success. We'll walk through all the principles, and then, the best part, we'll give you a toolkit so you can start using this stuff right away.
So let's start with the big question. Why do our ideas fail? It turns out the biggest enemy isn't that we have bad ideas. Nope, it's that our own brains are working against us.
And the Heaths give this villain a name, the curse of knowledge. Here's the trap. Once you know something, it's almost impossible to remember what it was like not to know it. You're an expert, you've got all this context in your head, but your audience doesn't. So you think you're being crystal clear, but to them, it just sounds like noise. It's a total curse for communication.
But hey, don't worry, the book doesn't just diagnose the problem, it gives us a powerful, super practical antidote to break the curse. It's basically a checklist for making your ideas impossible to ignore.
And here it is, the hero of our story, the Success Framework. That's SUCCESS. It stands for simple, unexpected, concrete, credible, emotional, and stories. Seriously, just think of this as a 6-point inspection for any idea you have.
Okay, we're going to tackle these first 3 principles as a group because they really form the bedrock of your message. This is how you shape your idea so people can actually understand it and remember it.
First up, simple. And this is so important. Simple does not mean dumbed down. It means finding the absolute single most important thing, the core of your idea. The classic example is Southwest Airlines. For years, their one core message was, "We are the low-fare airline." Every decision got filtered through that. Should we serve a fancy chicken salad? Will that help us be the low-fare airline? No? Okay, then we're not doing it. That's simplicity. It's a core idea that guides every single action.
All right, next up, unexpected. Our brains are wired to tune out the normal. The only way to get attention is to break a pattern, to surprise people, to make their brains go, whoa, what was that? The perfect example is this movie Popcorn Fact. Instead of just listing grams of fat, a consumer group delivered this shocker. A single bag of popcorn has more artery-clogging fat than an entire day's worth of greasy food combined. Boom! That idea stuck, and it literally changed the entire popcorn industry.
Okay, next, concrete. Let's face it, our brains are terrible at remembering abstract concepts. An abstract truth like don't be bitter in the face of failure is slippery. But a concrete fable, like Aesop's sour grapes, you can picture the fox, you can see the grapes, you hear him muttering they were probably sour anyway, it's tangible. It gives your brain something to hold on to, and that's why that simple moral has stuck around for thousands of years.
So, you've shaped your idea. It's simple, it's unexpected, it's concrete. Now for the next part. How do you get people to actually believe it, care about it, and then do something about it?
So for an idea to be credible, you'd think you need a stuffy expert in a lab coat, right? Well, not always. Sometimes the most powerful voice is what the Heaths call an anti-authority, someone with undeniable, real-world experience. Anti-smoking ads used doctors for years, but one of the most effective messengers ever was Pam Laffin, a young mom who started smoking at age 10 and was dying from emphysema. Her personal story was more devastatingly credible than any statistic a doctor could share.
Now, to get people to care, you have to make them feel something. We are wired to feel for individuals, not for massive, faceless statistics. This is called the Mother Teresa principle. In one study, people were asked to donate to fight starvation in Africa. When they read the story of one specific little girl who needed help, they gave twice as much money as when they were just given the overwhelming statistics about the millions of people starving. If you want people to care, you have to focus on the one.
And finally, we get to stories. Now this is brilliant. Stories are so much more than just entertainment. The Heaths call them flight simulators for the brain. When we hear a story, our brain lights up in the same way it would if we were actually living the experience. The famous story of Jared losing hundreds of pounds eating Subway didn't just tell people about healthy sandwiches. No, it gave them a mental script. It let them rehearse a path to success in their own minds, and that inspired millions to act.
Okay, that's the theory. But how do you actually put this to work, like tomorrow? Let's get practical and open up the toolkit.
I love this message makeover. Just look at the difference. The before is fine. It's scientifically correct, but totally forgettable. The after, though, that's genius. It uses a concrete analogy, a leather couch left in a storm, that is instantly understandable and emotional. We can all picture a ruined couch, and that word forever? Man, that makes the message urgent. That's a sticky idea.
Need to make a complicated idea simple and concrete fast? Just use an analogy. It's like a cheat code for understanding. The movie Speed was pitched as Die Hard on a bus. 2 seconds, and everybody in the room got it. When Disney calls its employees cast members, it completely reframes their role. Analogies are powerful because they hook your new idea onto something your audience already understands. And to make an idea emotional, one of the easiest ways is to appeal to pure self-interest. You got to answer the question, what's in it for me? The legendary ad writer John Caples was the king of this. Just look at these headlines. You can laugh at money worries. Give me 5 days and I'll give you a magnetic personality. They don't talk about features. They promise a powerful, personal benefit that grabs you by the collar. So if you remember one thing, let it be this. The success framework isn't just some cool, abstract theory. It is a practical, actionable tool. It's a checklist. You can, and you should, run your next email, your next presentation, your next big pitch through this framework to see where it's weak and how you can make it stronger. And that's the heart of Made to Stick. It's an incredible roadmap for defeating the curse of knowledge and making sure your ideas get heard, get remembered, and actually make a difference. So the only question left is, what idea are you going to make stick?